Hey, it's Camo with Nashville Access, the Pie Wagon Sessions, and it just seems like really excellent talent keeps popping up for us, and we're really lucky today, especially because we got Jackie Darlene. Nice to meet you.
You too.
You made it all the way in from Texas.
I did. I flew in
Are your arms
Tuesday. Yeah, I literally flew all the way here. I flew in Tuesday and I fly out today.
Nice.
It was a quick trip, but I'm really glad that I made it up here.
Now, you reached out to me because, A, you're doing well in Texas, but you're putting out you've got a new single coming out.
Yes.
That's, it's kind of a remake, but it's a remake with somebody that's a really tight family member.
Yes, my granddad.
Yeah, your grandfather. Is Whitey Shafer.
Yes.
And the song is an old Lefty Frizzell song, my favorite Lefty song, too.
Yes.
I Never Go Around Mirrors.
Yeah, so there's a cool history behind that song. So in 1967, my granddad moved our family up here. Of course, I wasn't around yet, but it was my mom. From Whitney.
Yep.
He moved my grandmother and my mom and her siblings from Whitney, Texas to Hendersonville, which is just 20 minutes from here, because he wanted to pursue a songwriting career here in Nashville. And he coincidentally moved on the same street as Lefty.
Wow.
Like, he found out Lefty lived 3 doors down, so he said, well, I'm just going to go knock on his door and give him my demo. And so he goes over there, and Lefty opens the door, and he has a beer in his hand, and he says, what do you want, knucklehead?
That's great.
Yeah. My granddad said, well, I just have a 5-song demo. Would you please just listen to it?
Yeah.
That's all I ask. And he said, all right, come in. So he listens to it, and he cut 2 of the songs the next day. My granddad knew he was going in the studio the next day. And he's like, well, maybe you'll like one of these for your CD. And the 2 songs that he decided to cut were I Never Go Around Mirrors and Think It's You, Babe.
Yeah.
That was the song.
Yeah.
That's what he told me. Again, he tells me the story every time I see him because it's one of his favorite memories. Because, in honesty, that in 1967 was one of the things that started up this whole country music era of amazing songs with Merle Haggard and George Jones and Lefty.
Lefty is just such an icon among, Merle Haggard, George Strait, Willie Nelson, all look at Lefty Frizzell as the guy.
Yeah, Lefty really was the first person to open the door for my granddad in that way in songwriting, and they ended up doing a lot of work together.
It's a good thing he didn't go with that as a nickname instead of Whitey. Knucklehead Shafer doesn't have the same ring to it.
His real first name is Sanger.
Sanger, yeah.
Sanger D. Shafer, and for some reason he names Whitey.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And so you've covered it. You do the duet with him on the record, and he's no slouch as a singer either.
Oh, he's not. And we were just over there, my manager and I, who came out with me this week, we were just at my granddad's house yesterday evening, and we were sitting on the back porch, and he just busted out singing The Baptism of Jesse Taylor from beginning to end.
Wow.
And just no music, no guitar, anything. We were just sitting out there, and it was really like a magical moment. He's 82, and he could still hold a note, as you can tell from the song.
Yeah, man, it's a great song. It's so cool to have that in your family heritage, and then you'd be able to. Now, you've been plugging away in the Texas market for a while.
Yes, I started out. Not for too long. I don't know how long, 2.5, 3 years is how long I've been
Music
around.
is like dog's life. Every year feels like 7.
Yeah, definitely, especially if you're on the road.
Yeah.
So when I was about 19, I kind of started, 19, 20, I started coming around the Texas music scene. I really wasn't familiar with it at all.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a Texas music scene for country.
Yeah.
Until I was 19. Before then, I had a Christian rock band in high school, and I was really into like the folk indie music, and I had no idea about Texas country music at all until 3 years ago. And then everybody was covering my granddad's songs every time I went to any bar, and it was like, man, I really learned the true, because to me as a kid it was just normal. I was just like, that's what I grew up around, and then I saw really what an influence and what all this means and the history behind it. It's so beautiful, and the country music, it's in my blood. It just came creeping along after a while.
Now, I've heard that the Texas music scene is, the Texas circuit is really hard for female artists.
You have no idea. You've heard correct.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking to Holly Tucker a little while ago, and she said, yeah,
It's tough.
it's brutal. And not a lot of women make it out of there. Miranda did. But
Case is not from Texas, but she was real involved in the Texas country music scene before she was big time.
What sticks out as you as one of the most difficult things about trying to plug into the Texas circuit?
Venues are afraid to book females for whatever, some venues, not all venues. Now there's some that I'm very, very tight with that have been so good to me. But I've noticed a trend in, people not wanting to book female artists because they're afraid maybe that they won't put on like a crazy show and lighting stuff on fire or whatever.
Yeah, we heard about that one. That Sam Riggs set his guitar on fire at the Larry Joe Taylor Music Festival.
Rock and roll, man, rock and roll.
He made it very clear that he wasn't asked to leave, or he wasn't escorted out. He apologized and left on his own.
Yeah, I was there the day before, and I was there for one day this year at LJT. But it is hard for women. I've said this before in a different interview, like 6 months ago, that they don't take women too seriously for some reason. And maybe it's because some women have come and then just stopped for whatever reason. Maybe they got married or, had a baby or who knows.
Some great women in the Texas scene. Bree Bagwell and Holly.
Jamie Wilson.
Yeah, just a lot that are really solid artists. And it's almost like everybody's waiting for the next Miranda to break out.
Yeah, there's not going to be another Miranda, You got to just really be unique, and all those ones you just named. And
Sonny Sweeney too.
Sonny Sweeney.
Killer.
Yeah, those girls, they work incredibly hard, and I have a lot of female artist friends that I see them firsthand, and I really think there's going to be a comeback for women in country.
I think it started after that nonsense about the salad and that women are only the tomatoes, so you don't put too many in the salad. And
I missed that whole thing.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. But even when I was coming up in radio in the 80s, the old routine was never play two females back to back. And, well, why? Because they sound the same. Really? You're going to tell me that Winona Judd sounds like Martina McBride?
Right?
It's just, where do they come up with this kind of stuff?
Man, there was a huge boom in women in country in the 90s.
Yeah.
There really was, like the Dixie Chicks, like Reba, everything. And then that kind of went away for a while, and I think it's starting to come back, though.
Yeah, I think it is, too. I'm really glad that you're on the scene, because listening to your EP, it's really, really good.
Thank you.
You've got a really different sound. You're like really unique vocals. When you talk about, can't play two women back to back, your vocals just are really crystal clear and really nice.
Thank you.
Really cool to listen to.
Thank you very much.
And it's a cool EP. Some great songs on there.
Yeah, I tried to keep it, I didn't try, it naturally happened just to keep it, all the songs were so different. And they all have a different vibe, but we tied it together somehow, which comes with good producing. And we were able to do that through the whole record, make it flow.
Cool. Did you produce that in Texas?
I did. I co-produced that with Josh Thorado and Ben Hussey. And they're actually up for some awards at TRRA this year for Producers of the Year. But their studio is out at Melody Mountain Ranch, where Larry Joe Taylor Fest is. So that's on the grounds where the artist bar is, and then at the backstage on stuff. Their studio's in there. And so I recorded my EP on Melody Mountain. So it's pretty awesome. Every time I go back there, I get the feeling. I'm like,
nice.
Did the work here.
You want to play Larry Joe Taylor Fest one year?
Oh yeah.
That's a big festival.
It's huge. Those kids are crazy too. Yeah. They're wild. They're big fans.
California have their Coachella and all that kind of stuff. Larry Joe Taylor Music Festival.
That's our Texas thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
You want to do a song?
Sure.
Cool.
Let's see here. What should I play? just recently brought this song back. I wrote it when I was 15. It's called I Miss Your Love.
Cool.
And
That's a pretty song.
Thank you.
You wrote that when you were 15.
I was 15 years old and I wrote that in Whitney, Texas at my grandma's house. I remember the day. I remember.
Wow.
How could you have been so heartbroken at 15?
It's my first love, you know? I wrote that about my first love.
I think the question is, how can you not be heartbroken when you're 15? That's all
I know,
15-year-old girls are.
I was always, everything between 12 and 18 was just heartbreak city.
And for guys, everything is just like one word answers to everything.
Or nothing.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Do you feel like you're kind of carrying on a musical legacy coming from?
I'm starting to. Yeah. I'm starting to realize the importance of, it's almost spiritual for me, to be honest. And not only on my granddad Whitey, but the other side of my family, my dad's dad, and my parents met in the 90s. This is a crazy story, but my dad's dad, his name is Paul Wayne, and he had a band called Paul Wayne and the All-Stars, and he was a singer-songwriter out of the Central Texas area. Amazing singer, an amazing songwriter. He actually wrote a song and sold it for $50 to somebody, and Ray Price cut it. It's called Just a Girl I Used to Know.
No way.
Yeah, that's my granddad on my dad's side.
Wow.
And he married Jackie, who was my grandmother, who could play and sing better than Connie Smith, is what my mom says. And I'd never got to meet her. I was not even a year old when she passed away from lung cancer. But I feel, and my other granddad, Paul Wayne, he's passed also, but I feel like they're with me and living out that through me in my career, and because they didn't get to fulfill all those dreams. Back in the 50s, if you had kids, it was like almost impossible.
Yeah.
And, of course, my granddad, Whitey, what he's done for country music is mind-blowing, and it was so important, all of that. It's like a movie. There should be a movie about the history of country music.
It's funny, I talked to Ann Buckle a week ago, and Ann is the grandniece of A.P. Carter. So the Carter family, and she says she can almost feel the weight of that musical heritage in everything she does.
It's true. I feel the same thing.
And it's funny because you get Nashville now, all these artists from the 90s have kids that are coming up and playing and doing well, and the artists that I grew up listening to in the 70s, 80s, it's all their grandkids now, like yourself.
Yeah.
And it's how that musical heritage is just continuing.
It's musical genetics. I have a song called Musical Genetics that I wrote for my granddad. That's kind of about that a little bit.
Do you ever run things by him and say, hey, I got this idea? Or is he pretty much done from the music?
Oh, he's so done.
Yeah.
He's 82 and he's happy with everything he's done, and he even turned down a writing session with Loretta Lynn.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Only someone that's really tired of it would do that, because who would do that,
Yeah.
But he's just tired, and but he'll still come out and do things. And when I asked him if he would want to cut I Never Go Around Mirrors with me, he seemed a little surprised that I asked him at all, because he's never, number one, he's never cut a duet with anybody.
Yeah.
And number two, he's never cut anything with a family member. And so I think he saw an opportunity, and I saw an opportunity, and everything fell into place. We did it at the Love Shack here on Music Row with Kenny Lamb.
Cool.
And he was an amazing producer. I'd work with him again if given the opportunity, and everything just fell into place real naturally. But getting him in the studio, he was a little nervous about it the week of. He was like, why am I doing this? He's like, I'm 82 years old. But the morning of it, though, the morning that we had to all get up, he was up and ready, had his hair combed, he was drinking coffee, and he went in there with a big smile on his face in the studio, and when he busted out that first line of the song, everyone in the studio was like, wow. Yeah, because they didn't know it. I kind of knew, he could still sing, and they were just shocked. They were floored, though. The whole take was truly natural.
Wow. It's funny, you get people of that generation, and some are still into it and working, like Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard worked right up to almost the day he died. And then you get guys that are just so over it. My wife is friends with Narl Wilson, what a huge legacy he has of music. And he's just, I'm done with that.
Right.
I don't need it.
You can get burnt out, I guess, after so many years.
Are you hoping that your career really starts moving into that more, not mainstream, but more accepted kind of realm instead of having to slug it out so hard?
Yeah. I do. Songwriting, and we came up here this week to get songwriting things in place, because it's something I've always been passionate about since I picked up the guitar at 12 years old. I was writing then, and I can't remember all of them. I was writing from 12 years old until now, and it's been the only thing I've ever stuck with. It's been the only thing that I've done it and been like, okay, I'm okay at this, and everything else was very hard for me.
Yeah.
But it's something I'm going to continue to do. It's going to be part of my career. And
Excellent. You want to do another one?
sure.
All right.
It's too early to pick out a set
I
list.
know.
Trying to think. I will do a song I wrote called Why Do You Cheat? How can something so wrong feel so right? We've always been this way. You hold me close through the night. We both know you can't stay. You gotta go home to your baby. Just like you have all the times before. So go home to your baby. Can I ask you before you walk out the door? What are these games that you're playing? 'Cause I know that you don't love me. But if you love her the way you say you do, then love her. Why do you cheat? I've been thinking about the time we've spent. And darling, I feel so ashamed. I can see she loves you so much. She even wants to take your name. So go home to your baby. Just like you have all the times before. So go home to your baby. Can I ask you before you walk out the door? What are these games that you're playing? 'Cause I know that you don't love me. But if you love her the way you say you do, then love her. Why do you cheat? What are these games that you're playing? You must be living in some fantasy. 'Cause if you loved her the way you say you do, then love her. You just wouldn't cheat. If you love her the way you say you do, then love her. Why do you cheat?
Killer.
Thank
Great
you.
song.
Thank
Great
you.
song. So people can connect with you on social media and everything?
Yes, I have a Facebook page. If you're watching Facebook Live,
Yeah.
it's Facebook. Just type in Jackie Darlene, and it's JackieDarlene.com. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat,
Everywhere.
whatever social media preference you prefer. Spotify. Follow me on Spotify.
Yeah, and you can check out her music on Spotify, but then go and buy it.
Right, on iTunes.
That's how people like her get paid, instead of 0.0001 cent per stream.
That's so crazy. But it's true.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure, and love you to come back next time you're in town.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Thank you, Hannah.
Excellent. Jackie Darlene, make sure you check her out, and thanks for watching.